Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is a Gothic masterpiece that explores complicated ideas like ambition, duty, knowledge, and what happens when you try to be God. The moral ambiguity of the characters, especially Victor Frankenstein and the monster he makes, is also something the book is known for. Victor Frankenstein is a young scientist who lives in Geneva, Switzerland. He comes from a loving family. He wants to know everything there is to know about life, and his studies lead him to find out the secret of life. Victor becomes obsessed with the idea of making life himself, so he starts collecting body parts from charnel houses and graveyards to put together his creature. Victor's drive is impressive, but it's clear right away that he's in over his head. When Victor gets his creature to move, he is terrified by how it looks and throws it away. This act of leaving sets off a chain of terrible events that destroy both Victor and his creation in the end. Victor is a complicated figure who has both good and bad sides to him. On the one hand, he is a smart scientist who really wants to do something great. On the other hand, his desire keeps him from seeing how his actions will affect others, and he ends up paying a terrible price for his arrogance. The thing that Victor makes is just as complicated. The creature is made up of body parts from many different places, and electricity is used to make it move. The creature starts out innocent and like a kid, but he quickly learns to talk and read by looking through books he finds. He is also painfully aware of how horrible and disgusting he looks to people. The creature wants to have friends and be accepted, but everyone he meets rejects him because of how he looks. This rejection finally makes the creature want to get back at Victor and hurt the people closest to him. Even though he does bad things, the monster is also a good guy. He is smart and can talk well, and he wants love and friendship. He is also a victim of his own circumstances, which Victor made without caring about him or his future. The creature represents the idea that what makes us monsters is not how we look, but what we do and how others treat us. The way Frankenstein talks about the role of women in society is another thing that makes it stand out. Most of the time, the female characters in the book are passive and helpless, and their main purpose is to move the story along or give the male characters something to do. This shows how few options there were for women in Shelley's time. But Elizabeth, who is engaged to Victor, stands out as an important exception. Elizabeth is kind, smart, and strong on her own, and she acts as Victor's moral guide throughout the book. Frankenstein is a commentary on the scientific and philosophical debates of its time, as well as on topics that will always be important. At the start of the Industrial Revolution, when the book was written, many people thought that science and technology could solve all of the world's issues. Shelley, on the other hand, saw the dangers of uncontrolled ambition and the desire to control nature. She wrote Frankenstein to warn people about the dangers of science and technology that go too far. Frankenstein has had a lasting effect on society, and it has been turned into a lot of movies, plays, and other kinds of writing. The book's lasting appeal comes from its ability to make readers feel both fear and sympathy, and from its exploration of complicated ideas that are still important today. Victor Frankenstein and the creature he makes stand out because of how morally complicated they are and how well they show the themes of desire, responsibility, and what happens when you try to be God.